Okay, so this will be the demolding video. As you can see, I kind of have everything exactly where I left it, except for this one. I just pulled it off right now. But you can see where the silicone's like hard, the touch is still stuck. Yeah, you can see that's a pretty decent amount of silicone that I wasted. My bad. Yeah, so I only had one glove left. So I'm only going to be wearing one glove. I'm just wearing a glove for this part because I have mold release spray on my parchment paper, and mold release spray is like super slick. So the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to pull off your tape. Oh, and by the way, hopefully you can see what I'm doing because I'm kind of... I got mold release spray all over this. I was doing some research, and apparently there's something called soft PLA or flexible PLA. So I don't know, that might be something to look into, to try. I'm trying to be as quiet as possible, but stay on the screen. I can't see what my phone's recording right now, so see, like, all this overage, I'm just gonna literally just like pull it off, just to kind of give it a little bit more of a cleaner look. You can, of course, you can use what's it called, an X-Acto knife or a straight edge for this. Take this. Sorry, this is gonna be a bit loud for a second. Okay, so let's see where you can see. Right there, you can see that. So let's try to stay in this little area. So remember that I had my adhesion layer. So my adhesion layer is still attached on this side. So I just find my X-Acto knife, which I should have gotten earlier. Or a razor blade, X-Acto knife, whatever. And let's see, move this there. Just gonna cut. Can you see this? Yeah. Just gonna cut my adhesion layer. And I might be cutting a little bit of my silicone, but it's nothing major. That part of the silicone has literally no function. So this is the fun part, and by fun I mean pain in the ass. You're basically just trying to find somewhere where it's a little bit more flexible, where you can push it apart. So basically I'm trying to push this part out from this part, but it's pretty adhered. There we go. I can feel it's kind of giving a little bit, and you'll be able to feel it when you're working with it, right? Sometimes you can go up, sometimes you have to go down. Ouch. Definitely helps if you have nails, but it hurts a little bit. And so see, like with actually I think it's TPE. I don't know, I was doing some research on filament types, and it said that TPE is the more flexible one rather than TPU. I don't know, like I said, I've only ever used PLA. But with the flexible one, you'd literally just be able to pull this wall to the side, or like from this side, right? You would pull the wall to the side and rip your silicone out. Or not rip it, but yank it out. So you're just trying to separate it. You can see it. Hopefully you can see it's coming off. once you get like that initial spot, it's pretty easy. It's just finding that initial spot that's kind of hard. And my adhesion layers always wants to stick to my filament. So let's see. So then what I do is I kind of pull it around to where it's pretty loosened from the sides, and then I'll just slowly like kind of pull the details out all the way around to where it kind of meets in the middle, and then I'll just pull the rest of it out. So this was my original 3D printed object. This was the wall that was originally around it, which you all saw. This is my larger one. I'm 3D printing my small one right now. And then this is the mold for that one. I'm really impressed with the way it looks. Didn't come out very bad at all. It does have some lines, but it's not terrible. I've definitely gotten a mold that was worse than this that I paid for. And I mean, I paid for this, but yeah, I'm happy with that one. Let's leave it somewhere where you can still see it, right? And then let's start working on this peep mold. So I'm gonna pull the tape off. Now this one, the adhesion layer was completely solid. Let's see if we can see. And see, I can't even really see where I was slicing into the adhesion layer. So that's pretty cool. So but on this one, my adhesion layer was completely solid. So I'm gonna have to go around and break the entire adhesion layer. It's hard to work. And then of course you always want to have your blade facing away from you. So just turn it to where you can cut away from you. You never want to cut towards you. I'm sorry my voice is kind of low right now. I just woke up not that long ago, and I was like, oh, let's do my mold demolding video, or let's demold those molds before they sit there too long, right? I think I mentioned it, but this silicone that I use takes 6 hours to cure. So after you pour it, you have to wait about 6 hours. I think it was like 7 for me because I slept. Okay, so my adhesion layer is cut. And now I'm just going to try to find that little spot that's going to allow me to start pulling it away from the wall. And like I said, sometimes you have to pull up, sometimes you have to pull down. Sometimes you can pull to the side. So see, I kind of like I pulled it apart there. So that should give me a good starting point. Let's see if I can do the same over here. Yeah. And for me, because I got kind of bigger hands, or I have kind of bigger hands, ow. Like parts like this, like the ears where I don't really have a whole lot of space to work with, are always a little bit harder. So just another thing to take into consideration when you're designing. So you can see it's coming apart. We have the wall separated. We're gonna go across and separate the sides. You always want to be careful, especially when you make them thinner like I do. You don't want to tear your silicone. Having a wider or a thicker wall here probably will help with some of the fear, right? So maybe you start wide and then work your way smaller just to get comfortable. So see, that's pulled apart. And this one's not bad either. So both of these came out pretty good. I can't really see if you can see it really well. I mean, you can kind of see the 3D printed lines, but that shouldn't show up very much in the completed Freshie. So back looks pretty good. Walls are good. But yeah, so these are the 2 molds that I just made that y'all watched me make. And next I'm gonna do like some real thin Freshies, just so you can see, I guess, the completed